Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
getting
So
it.
and then so if you go into the tool, you will see like some new ones. Yeah. So there's like commercial, which is like a checkbox. So either you check it, uncheck it, and then here it's like say you pick a color, so you can pick multiple colors, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then materials, you can also pick multiple materials, and then this you can also check, right? And then you have to hit save to save it. So right now I won't save it, but so yeah, okay. So now you can pick those. So how do we pick those? So that's where like the instructions comes in. So if you go to the same tab that I created, right, for
Mm.
the categories, there's now like a new tab for color, new tab for material, commercial, and outdoor. Okay. And then
Okay.
each one I have like the rules kind of already written down, right? So for example, like we can just go through rule one by one, right? So if you're looking for colors, what you want to do is you want to read the product keywords which are over here, right? And then you also want to read the description in the tool, right? And you also want to double check with the variants, right? So the product variants also might have color sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to be able to check all of that. So like for example here we can see like are there any colors here? There's usually we marked as style color or something like that, right? So like in this example, all right, so let's see. No, this one doesn't have any keywords. If it doesn't have anything, then you want to look over here, right? If it
Mm-hmm.
has anything, and also like if none of them are there, then you want to just look at it in the image, right? So I'm just going to add that one. If you cannot find colors in the above, then look at the product image to see if there is a color, right? So first you want to look over here. So let's just go back here, right? So here there's like no product keywords,
Mm-hmm.
and then here there is no uh, colors over here, right? So, no, there is a color. It says like, and comes with a card, comes with a white envelope. But the card itself, you can see from the image, is like it's multicolor, right? It's not a single color,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you
Yeah.
can kind of just mark this one as multicolor, right? Because so in this case, so let me just go back here. So the simple case is so this one is basically over. Let's see. Yeah, if say this is multicolored, right? This is an example. If a single piece or an item has multiple colors, more than one in kind of equal proportion, right? So there's no one color that is very, very strong, right? So let's say if it's like a red vase, right? Or red chair, which has, maybe like a little bit of blue, then you will mark it mostly red, right? Because it's mostly red. But if
Okay.
it's like kind of 50-50 or it's like 60-40, then you will mark both 60%, 40%, right? 60% red, 40% blue, then you will mark it both red and blue. But if it's like 90% red and 10% blue, then you'll just mark it red. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Got it. Got it.
Right? So
Mm.
yeah, it's more about like which are important colors or very prominent colors, right? So if it's got too many colors, then just mark it multicolor, right? So in this case, we would mark it multicolor, right? There's like an option. You can always type a little bit and it'll let you search, right? And then you can also like, let's say if you want to mark it, like in this case, if you want to mark it gray because there's like a huge amount of gray, you can, right? Like up to you, right? So like it doesn't have to be exact, it has to be close enough because again like the creators, if they don't like it, they can come in and change it right
Mm-hmm.
later on.
Okay.
So like so that's kind of like the color. And then the other thing that you want to do is you can also click in to see the product itself, right? So you can just click in, see the product to see if there's anything in the variants, right, for colors, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically so that's color. So there's like a lot of rules for color. So first you want to look in the tag. Sometimes you like in this example you'll see teal as a tag, right? And then gray is a color. But you see gray is already marked here, right?
Okay.
So sometimes some of the ones in the keywords will already be marked and sometimes they won't be marked, right? So sometimes you'll see gray here but it won't be marked here. Then you have to make sure that it is marked,
Okay.
So I kind of talk about that over here, right? So sometimes there may be colors in product keyword that are not tagged already in the color section. So always double check. Okay.
Okay.
Then the other thing is like now if you let's say for example if it's teal, right? Now it says it's a color, right? It's a tag of type color, right? The product keyword of type color, but we don't know exactly what is teal, right? Because teal is not an option in the drop down, right? So then you can just go here. This link I've already given. So you can see teal is once over here. It's kind of like a bluish color, right? And then it is also in green. So it's actually twice, right? You see this? Like teal. If I search for teal in this document, I'm coming to 2 results,
Okay.
right? So in this case, teal is kind of like a color in between green and blue.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if it's an in-between color, then we need to mark both, right? So I gave an example here. So this is like sometimes a single shade can be marked under multiple colors. So teal is a shade of green and also blue. So therefore select both. So you should select green and blue also in there,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So, and then, or if one piece, like if one item, like I said before, has like more than one color in like, like reasonable proportions, right? Then mark multicolor, right? We already covered that example with that gray card, right? Where it was like multiple colors. Then if a single piece has mostly one color, then just mark that as the primary color. Like, so if it's like 80% pink and, like 20% blue, mark it as pink, right? Does that make sense?
Okay.
I can give like an example for here. Like, so if is it helpful for me to give examples or does it make it more confusing?
Yeah, it's helpful to have an example.
If object is 80% pink and 20% blue, then only mark pink, right? So something like that, right? Nude color, so there'll be a color option that some color options you may not know, like so one is like maybe nude, right? Nude is actually just like skin color, right? So if you actually search for it, so like for example, you see a color where you don't understand, or like someone's written a color in the description that you don't understand, make sure you do just a Google for it, like nude color, right? If you do that, just say, okay, these are kind of like nude colors, right? It's like skin color,
Yeah.
right? So make sure that you can always Google something, right? Reference. So in this case, I'm just going to put this as like a link over here, right? So if you don't know color, then Google it, right? So, all right. So that then clear color is also another color that's there. Clear color just means that it's transparent. So it, like it would be something like anything made of glass or crystal will be like clear, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's like an option over here. I think there's the option is clear. Yeah, clear. That. That's like a color. Then let's go back. So metallic colors are basically any colors that are shiny, metallic looking, right? So like it can be either metallic. Metallic is just any color that's metallic. Copper is a very specific type of metallic color, which is like the reddish metallic color, right? So in this case, you would mark both, right? It is metallic as well as copper, right?
Copper. Yeah.
So sometimes there'll be a more general tag and sometimes there'll be a less general tag, right? So then you have to mark both in that case.
Okay.
Here, mark metallic and copper together. Right? If it's copper, mark metallic and copper together. If it's some other kind of metallic color, just mark it metallic, right? So then there might be some cases where there's no color, right? So like it's like a gift card or something like that where there's not really, or a service, like there's no actual color to the because there's no physical object. In which case, just leave it blank.
Okay. It's okay to leave it blank.
Yeah, if it's like not a not an object,
Okay.
right? Or something like that. It's some abstract concept or something. So, like a gift card is an example, right? A gift card doesn't really have a color because the gift card itself is the color of the card is not important,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Great.
So then, so this is color. Then the next one is material, right? So the next tag is this color we talked about, material. Material is also similar, right? So you have to look for materials in over here. You'll see it as like you can see textile as a material over here. So sometimes you see textile as a material here, but textile is not marked here in material, right? So you should see if there's textile is available as a material to mark or not, right? So that's the point that I'm making over here, that sometimes there may be materials in the product keywords that are not tagged already in the material section. So always double check.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to also look for materials over here. So you have linen. See in the description, they have linen, cotton, they have fiber, right? And then they have basically like anything else, right? So you would want to mark that. So some materials, so there are sometimes more specific materials and less specific materials. Like that example I gave of the color for metallic and like copper. So here you can have something like linen and cotton are specific tags. So, but there's also a tag called fabric, so it should be marked as fabric also, right? Because fabric is like a general tag. So, like you see here, fabric is a tag.
Okay.
Okay, so it's linen, cotton, and fabric,
Okay. Got it.
right? So, generally, when you're talking to the team, if you also let them read through these, make sure that they read through these instructions and examples that are there, right? So because then they'll understand the different cases,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
And then if they don't understand, then they should come and ask you, and then you can explain based on what I've explained to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and then if there's obviously any questions, same process as before, just leave a comment, and then I will try to answer it.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and then certain things are like, there's also like sometimes there's like a general wood, and then there's like specific types of wood or specific general metal and specific types of metal. So for example, if something is bamboo or oak, like that it's bamboo or oak from the description. Again, also remember you have to also check the product variants for each one, right? So we need to make sure that we go in and view the product and make sure that if there's any variants, we look through the variant names, right? To make sure that there's no other, same material or color over there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
so basically, if you see like something is tagged as oak or it has oak in the description, so you should also tag wood because oak is a type of wood,
Okay. Got it.
right?
Right.
So similarly, if something is aluminum or copper, we have to also tag metal,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you will see so some tags are more general tags. So you see brass over here, aluminum is a type of metal, bamboo is a type of wood, birch wood is a type of wood, brass is a type of metal, bronze is a type of metal, canvas is cloth, basically some type of cloth, cement, ceramic, concrete. So copper is again a type of metal. So if you're marking copper, you have to make sure you're also marking metal.
Metal.
Right? So it'll be like copper and then you'll mark metal. Right? So like that. All right. So then, so all of those should be easily understood. So I've given those examples, right? So when tagging a specific type, also tag. If it's metal, then also, if any kind of metal, then also tag metal. If it has multiple materials, again, like, more than 20%, 30% is like multiple colors, right? There's no one color, one material that is most of it. So like a chair, right? Like a chair may have frame of wood, but it has, say, cloth in the seat, right? So mark both. So you
Okay.
mark it as wood as well as cloth,
Okay. Got it.
right?
Right.
But if it's like 90% something, right? If it's majority something, right? Like for example, if it's a box, right? A box is mostly wood, but it has only like a little bit of metal because of the lock on the box, right? Then it should not be. You shouldn't mark that.
Mm-hmm.
So if item is mostly one product, one material, then only and has only a small percentage less than say 20% of another material, only mark the first material, the majority material. Material, right? So here, like the example is the box example I just gave, right? E.g., a wooden box with a metal handle should be marked only wood, right? Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I think
So then the next one is synthetic. So synthetic is basically like an a category over here of material, right? It's synthetic. Basically, synthetic is like anything that's like man-made, artificial. So that can include many different things, right? So it can include plastic, acrylic, all that stuff is synthetic.
Okay.
Okay. Then stoneware is like a very specific thing, right? So stoneware you'll see over here. Like there's stone and stoneware. Stone is like, like a rock, like marble or something like that, right? Whereas stoneware is actually like pottery, right? So it's actually stoneware and ceramics are actually related. So you'll see ceramics is also an option and stoneware is an option, right? So they're actually very related subjects, right? So it's basically any kind of pottery that is glazed, like it's clay, like so any kind of clay / pottery that is glazed is stoneware, and then ceramics is a very specific type of stoneware where the temperature is very high. So if it says ceramic, then it should be ceramic and stoneware. But if it doesn't say, if it just says stoneware, it should be only stoneware. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So ceramics should be tagged as ceramics and stoneware. Okay, and then the other thing is stoneware, which is not ceramics, should only be tagged as stoneware. So again, stoneware is like a more general category. Ceramics is a special category, right? So similarly, like the metal, right? You had like copper and metal. Copper is a kind of metal, but metal is not copper, right? Because copper is very specific, kind of. Are we clear on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Then mixed media is basically like an option that's available. So mixed media is generally applicable to like art, right? So it's like when you have many different things that can be metal and plastic and paper all together into like one art piece, right? So then you select mixed media, right? So I've written that it's typically in art, okay? All right, so then this one is sometimes as material. So these two are the most complicated. Color and material are the most complicated. These ones are much simpler. It's a yes or no, right? So basically for each one we have to try to do all four, right? So for each product. So it'll take a little bit more time than previous where we was only marking a category, right? So here what we're saying is, so the rule, so how do you know if something is commercial, right? So for example, if the description mentions any type of business, right? Commercial is just any kind of business, right? So if it says like an office, restaurant, hotel, shop, etc., or it mentions that it is used for commercial, professional use, then mark it as commercial.
Okay.
If any of the pictures, for example, now let's say if it doesn't have, the description doesn't have this, but the pictures show that it's like inside of a restaurant or something like that, right? Or like an office or inside of a hotel room. Like hotel room is basically different from a house, but it'll look a little bit different, right? So then mark it as commercial, right? And then the third thing is commercial products are how, like generally for commercial products are products that are kind of designed so that many people can use it, right? So usually they'll have words in there saying durable or very, like long lasting and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Because, it's kind of like if you have carpet in your house, right? It is not very strong carpet, but if you have like the carpet in an office, right, or in a hotel, the carpet material is very strong because, hundreds of people are going to be walking on it every day, right? So the material is kind of designed more tough,
Mm-hmm. So
right? So that's kind of, go ahead, question.
yeah, I have some clarification regarding just commercial. So it doesn't depends on where the product is located or situated. Like for example, a painting in a restaurant. So we can tag it as a commercial.
Yes, yeah, you can tag it as a commercial. That's a
So
good question,
uh,
right?
uh,
So if it's situated, if the painting is in a restaurant, sure. Like, or if it looks like it's, like it's a very large painting or something like that, right? Painting in a restaurant.
also murals, like
Yeah, murals is a because most people don't have murals in their house, right? You don't have a wall that's usually that big.
street murals. Does it falls under commercial also?
Which one?
Street murals or public murals.
Yeah. That would definitely be commercial,
Commercial. Okay.
right? So then, or if it's like I said, if it's like very very large quantity, or if it's like very like a house wouldn't have. Let's say if it's a very large painting, right? So let's say like some painting is 10 feet by 10 feet painting or something like that, then it's probably not going to fit inside someone's house, right? It should be kind of like it's probably a hotel painting or painting for a hotel lobby or something like that, right? Does that make sense?
Mm,
If it's very large in dimension,
okay.
in size, then it is probably a commercial product, right? Like e.g. very large painting won't fit inside house, right? Usually, like in the living room, it'll look odd, right? If you have like a huge painting in your living room, right? So generally paintings are like medium size, like it'll be like 3 feet by 6 feet or something like that, right? Like 1 meter maybe, right? So inside length. But if it's like 10 meters in length, there's no way you can put it in your house, probably. I mean, you could, but if you have a very big house, but most people don't.
How about for the furnitures? So most likely, almost all the furnitures can be tagged as commercial.
Uh, Not no. I would be careful over there. Yeah, if it's like something, or like for example, if a seller is selling these in large quantities, right? Then it's probably commercial. Commercial. I mean, look, this one is going to be hard. Okay, so maybe we won't be exactly accurate, right?
Yeah.
But so it's okay to be wrong sometimes, right? Like then we'll tell once this tagging is done, we are going to tell all these creators to come back and check their stuff, right? Like if they don't agree with something, they can always remove it or they can add it, right? So,
Okay.
so we don't have to be perfect. We just have to be good enough where it makes sense.
Okay.
Right. So like furniture, yeah, maybe a lot of them will be commercial, but some of them may not be, right? So like, I would say, but most of them are probably commercial,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so, and stuff where they're making, because like if it's a commercial, say a chair, right? If the person is only making like one chair at a time or something like that, it's probably not commercial because like unless if they're offering like bulk discounts and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Or they're selling it. Oh yeah, we can make 50 of these, right? Because one store is not going to put like one chair usually, right? They'll put like 20 chairs, 30 chairs,
Yeah.
right? So, but they like the creator should be able to make it in large quantities. So that's why I have this large quantity, right? So again, like maybe we can be cautious. We don't have to mark everything as commercial, right? But if you think that okay, it's a good chance, there's a good possibility that it is commercial, just mark it and move on, right?
Okay.
And even if we are wrong, we are wrong. Like it doesn't matter,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Right.
So the next one is, I think, even simpler than commercial. This one is outdoor, right? So if there's like a picture that's showing it outdoors, then for sure mark it as outdoor, right? Or if it says something like, it's water resistant or weatherproof or waterproof or something like that, or if the product can be put, if the description just mentions that it can be put in a outdoor garden, etc., then mark it as outdoor, right?
All right.
So this one is like the simplest of the lot, right? So
Okay.
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 So all right. So these are the four main four tabs. So they can always refer to this, and you can also make additional notes if you feel like there's some question that wasn't answered. Like you can answer it for the team, and everyone's asking the same question. You can also write, or you can tell me that hey, we need to add this.
Okay.
I can add it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's one. And then, so some of these also, by the way, so I have also left comments in there because these need to be moved, right? So like I've left some comments, like you see here, it's like move from cups to tableware, drinkware. So it's because we did a change, right? So now if you go here for this product, this is for the original one. You see it's under tableware cups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you do cups, there's actually two of them. So there's like tableware cups. There's also tableware drinkware cups. So this is like the old one.
Okay.
We are trying to get rid of this one, and this is like the new one, right?
Okay.
So this one needs to be moved here, and then you can just do all the other things also.
Okay.
Okay, so only those are the ones where I've left any comments, right? You see these. So like for example, if I've got I have like a view over here which just has all the comments. Hold on a sec. Where do you? I think maybe like yeah. So you'll see all of these, right? Like here it says move from cups to tableware, drinkware, cup, right? And then or move from here it'll also be something where the category keyword is not done. It means that this one is missing the category keyword, right? Basically in the previous one we didn't mark it as done, right? So
Right.
maybe it is done, right? In this case it is. It looks like it could be done. Actually, it's not. This is wrong. It's not a carafe. Carafe is like a jug,
Yeah.
right? So this one is wrong. But yeah, so in that case, we would mark this. You would fix whatever this is. This is, I think, a creamer or something like that. No, this is like, so it's like some sort of serveware, right? So yeah, it's like a serving bowl or something like that, right? So I would mark it as this. And then I would mark like, okay, is this commercial? Is this definitely, probably not. I mean, like things like this, like, can you mark it out? Can you use it outdoor? Sure, yeah, right. Like, there's nothing preventing you from using like a plate outdoors, right? So you can always mark it as outdoor. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's okay.
Right. So then, yeah, and then the color in this case, there's like two. See, it says available in white, gray, nude, ocean blue. So we would mark all those white, gray, nude, blue. Moss is, I guess, like a green color, right? So like that. So I would mark these. Then for material, I would say that this one is, what is the material?
I think it's ceramic.
Yeah, it's probably like a ceramic or ceramic, and then stoneware.
Stoneware, yeah.
Right, so I would mark it as that, and then design for outdoor use. Right, so I would kind of do this. Right, so. All right, so like yeah, so basically so here some of it it'll say category keyword not done, or it'll say that you need to specifically move it from this one to this one. Right, so like ceramic plates is another one which needs to be moved. Right, so here it says move from ceramic plates to tableware, dinnerware plate. Right, so if you go in here, it will be like, see, it's selected as tableware, ceramic plates. But then if you type plate, you'll find the other one. Right, so it's like this is the one it needs to go to tableware, dinnerware plate. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's basically not like a lot of these. There's, I think, the one, because I looked at, there were some of them where it was not done. So there's maybe about 1,500 of these.
Oh.
Where it needs to be where it needs to be moved, or some of them are not done. Okay, basically what happened was that they were not, because I saw that there was some of them where the tag wasn't marked as done, so I'm just marking them as not done from the previous version of the sheet.
Okay.
But so the entire sheet is now fresh, right? So everything they have to start from the beginning. You need to assign them again from the beginning, and they need to go through each one, and they have to do definitely those four things: style, material, color, not style, sorry, color, material, outdoor, commercial, and then in some, if there is a comment, they also need to look at the category and fix that.
Okay.
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 So yeah, this should take some time because, like, I think this is going to be even more complicated than the previous one, but this should be also more, interesting work.
Yeah.
Right? Because,
Yeah. I think so.
okay.
Okay.
Cool. So let me know if there's any questions, and then by the way, so when they're doing this one, once they have done it, they should delete this thing. Okay, don't leave it.
Okay,
if they're
okay.
marked, because then I want you to only leave comments for me.
Okay.
Right? So this is like an auto comment, right? So anytime they do all these, once this one is fixed, they should delete, and then, like, if they have any other question, they should write it, but they should not leave it.
Okay. I will tell that to the team.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So next time. No? All right. Yeah, I fixed that. So anyway. So yeah, so in this case, make sure they delete these, and then here also they should delete any comments that these are auto comments, right? So, like, I put it based on how it was tagged earlier, so they should just remove those. And then again, I will check. So, like, I have like this thing. So view, like, this is like anything that's new unassigned will come here. Once you assign them, they will disappear from here, and then they'll be in the to do one. So, and if you move it, basically if you mark it as to do and assign it, it should show up here. And then once I usually look for this one. This is comments for biz. Anything which has a comment, I look for it, right? So then I answer it, right?
All right.
And then once it's done, just mark it as done. Same as before. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you, Viz.
Yeah, let me know if there's any more questions, okay?
Okay, I will definitely.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.